Start the class. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So today I am going to tell you about MPC 024, is not it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
you give me immediate response also. To get the feedback, you have to give me immediate response when I ask you anything so that I can continue. So now I will tell you about the first topic, that is interviewing skill practice. So as you know, this paper deals with some counseling practice, some clinical counseling practices. And when you are doing counseling, so actually in counseling, the counselor helps the client to understand himself. So here, as a counselor, you should get all the ideas about the uh, person to whom you are going to do counseling. You should know his problem. You should know his environment. You should know everything about before you start counseling. So this comes down as a skill practice. So you have to develop the skill, how to know his problem, how to know his way of dealing. You should know his emotion. You should know his environment. So all these things you have to know before you start counseling. So now this counseling is a skill oriented program because here the counselor should be skillful to know clearly about the problems of the student of the counseling, and then only he can do proper counseling. So now the question is, one thing, are you work comfortable in Odia language?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody
Yes, sir.
not
Yes,
comfortable
sir.
with Odia? Hello? Anybody not
ହଁ
comfortable
ସାର୍ ହଁ
with
ସାର୍ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କହିଲେ ଭଲ ହେଲା।
ଓଡ଼ିଆ ତ ବୁଝିପାରିବ, ପଚାରିପାରିବ, କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଇପାରିବ। ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ଥାନ୍ତି ଶୁଣ କରନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ଓଡ଼ିଆ କହିଲେ ଆହୁରି କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଇପାରିବ ବିକଜ ୟୁ ମଦର ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ। ସୋ ନାଉ ସି, ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ କାଉନସିଲିଂ କରିବାକୁ କହୁଛୁ, କାଉନସିଲିଂ ମାନେ କ'ଣ? ସୋ କାଉନସିଲିଂ ମାନେ ଆମେ କ'ଣ ବୁଝୁଛୁ? ଆମେ ଭାବୁଛୁ କାଉନସିଲିଂରେ କିଏ କ'ଣ କହିଦେବ, ବତେଇଦେବ, ତା କର, ଏହା କର, ଏମିତି କିଛି ନୁହେଁ। କାଉନସିଲିଂ ମାନେ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଯିଏ ଆସୁଛି କାଉନସିଲିଂ କରୁଛ ତୁମେ, ତୁମେ ଜାଣିବା ଉଚିତ ତାର ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ କ'ଣ ଜାଣିବ ତୁମେ। ତୁମର କାମ ହେଲା ତମେ ତାକୁ ଏମିତି ଆଇଡ଼ିଆ ଦେବ ଯେ, ବା ଏମିତି ଏଭଳି ଭାବରେ ତାକୁ କହିବ ଯେ ସେ ଯେମିତି ନିଜକୁ ଭଲ ଚିହ୍ନି ପାରିବ। ସେ ପିଲାଟି ଥ୍ରୁ କାଉନସିଲିଂ ନିଜକୁ ଭଲ ଚିହ୍ନି ପାରିବ, ଇଏ ନିଜ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମଟାକୁ ନିଜେ ସଲ୍ଭ କରିବ। ତାର ଯେଉଁ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ହେଉଛି ଆମେ ତାକୁ ସଲ୍ଭ କରିବାକୁ ବତେଇବା କଥା ନୁହେଁ, ସିଏ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ତା ନିଜର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ସିଏ ସଲ୍ଭ କରିବ। ତେଣୁ କାଉନସିଲିଂ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି କ'ଣ କରେ, ଦିସ୍ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍ we help the subject to understand himself clearly and is able to understand his situation, and accordingly he has to make his own choices, his plans, his choice, his adjustments, he will decide. So here the counselor only helps him. ତେଣୁ ଯେ କାଉନସିଲର ତାକୁ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରେ ଯେ ଯେମିତି ସେ ଜାଣିବ ନିଜକୁ। ସୋ ଇଟ୍ସ ଏ ଟାଇପ୍ ଅଫ୍ ସେଲ୍ଫ ରିଅଲାଇଜେସନ୍ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍। ତେଣୁ କାଉନସିଲିଂରେ ମେନ୍ କାମ ହେଲା ଜଣେ ନିଜକୁ ନିଜେ ଫିଟ୍ କରିପାରିବ, ହାଉ ଟୁ ସଲ୍ଭ ଦି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍, ହାଉ ଟୁ ଫେସ୍ ଦି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍, ରାଇଟ୍? ଏଇଟା ବୁଝିପାରୁଛୁ ତ? ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ଆମର କାଉନସିଲିଂର ପର୍ପସ୍। In counseling, actually, we helps the client to take an appropriate decision. ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ କେମିତି ଡିସିସନ୍ ନେବା ପାଇଁ ସେ ନିଜେ ଏବୁଲ୍ ହେବ। ସେଥିପାଇଁ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା, ଦି କାଉନସିଲର should understand the client, his problem, his situation clearly. ଯେହେତୁ ତୁମେ ତାକୁ କହୁଛ କେମିତି ସେ ନିଜ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ସଲ୍ଭ କରିବ, ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ତୁମେ ଜାଣିବା ଉଚିତ ସେ କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟ କିଏ, ସେ କେମିତିକା ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିତ୍ୱ, ତା ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ସବୁ କ'ଣ, ଏବଂ ସେ କେଉଁ ପରିସ୍ଥିତିରେ ଅଛି, ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ତୁମ ପାଇଁ ଭେରି ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଆଜ୍ ଏ କାଉନସିଲର। ସୋ ହିୟର therefore it is told that it is required for the counselor to understand the client, his problems, and his situation. So now here, these are the crucial parts of the counseling process. And here, to understand the client's problem, so you should develop the understanding about the client first. So, तुम ताको जानियो केमती, how can you understand him? तार need कौन, तार like dislike कौन, तार interest कौन, तार abilities कौन, तार personality, values, goals, से पर कौन काको भल पाए, काको न पाए, भल कौन भल पाए, बा कौन भल पाए नी, से लक्ष्य कौन, ये सब गुड़ा तो जानिया उचित. That's the first thing you should know as a counselor. So all these informations are collected through interview. So to collect this information, we call case history. आम कहो case history. आम गोटे case history नौ. ये case history हम कौन करूँ? तारा need कौन से किए से तार need कौन? तार likes dislikes कौन? तार interest कौन? तार abilities कौन? तार personality केमती कौन? तार कौन values, तार goals, ये सब कुछ idea हमें पाऊ. ये जो केस हिस्ट्री हम तक नौ, ये केस हिस्ट्री हमें कहू इनिशियल इंटरव्यू. द काउंसलिंग नीड्स टू बी स्किल्ड इन कंडक्टिंग द इनिशियल इंटरव्यू, as it is significant in terms of getting to know the client, making the client feel accepted and understood, and help confidence in the counselor. ये जो हमें कहूँ इनिशियल काउंसलिंग, ये कौन हुए ना से हियर व्हाट हैपेंस, वी नो द क्लाइंट एंड ऑल्सो वी मेक द क्लाइंट फील एक्सेप्टेड, वी अंडरस्टैंड एंड डेवलप कॉन्फिडेंस, एंड ऑल्सो नाउ सी we feel the client accepted. For the client on the other hand, so he is felt to be very properly understood, and he also developed confidence in the counselor. तो प्रथम एटा कौन गोटे कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग. तुम ताको प्रथम तुम तार प्रोब्लेम जानूच, तासे मिसुच, ताको जानूच, एवं सी निजे कंफर्टेबल तुम साथ फिल करुच्ची. फिल कला परे तार डेभलप कर कॉन्फिडेंस तुम ऊपर, से तुमको ता विषय कह जड़े जन किसी कह पूर्व कि कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग नहेले जड़े कहींपारती. तेणु तार सब कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग हम. तेणु युवाक हूँ तुम मिनिमम जिनस आम जो इनिशियल इंटरव्यू करवा बेलू ये सब दरकार निहाती. दिस इनिशियल इंटरव्यू हेल्प्स द काउंसलर टू बिल्ड अप ए रापोर्ट. आम ये जो जिनस है सी जानूँ आमको, आम तो जानूँ तार नीड कौन जानूँ, तार प्रोब्लेम कौन जानूँ, ताको सी फिल करुचे आम तार निजर बोली, सी फिल करुचे आम बुझीपार्चु बोली, तार आम विश्वास जन्मुची. ये सब है रापोर्ट, ताको आम कहू रापोर्ट फॉर्मेशन. ये जो इनिशियल काउंसलिंग बा इनिशियल इंटरव्यू, दिस इज एन इनफॉर्मल मेथड used to interview the client, but the client does not feel intimidated. तो यही मेथड रे आम आरंभ कर क्लाएंट फिल करनी जे सी जमी अलग ताको आम भल पाऊनु, सेमती एकुटिया एमती से फिल करिवो नाही. द क्वेश्चन शुड बी सच टू प्रोवाइड वाइड अंडरस्टैंडिंग. आम एमती प्रश्न पचारू जे तेणु से आमर प्रॉपरली we can understand him, and he can also develop confidence in a counselor. So here you are asking questions, or you are trying to know, to understand the client's life, his interactions and relationship, his emotions, his motivations, his behavioral problems, his adjustment process, and the goals in life. तो आमर जो इनिशियल इंटरव्यू आम एगुड़ा सब देखुचु, वी आर कलेक्टिंग दिस अबाउट द क्लाइंट, अबाउट द सब्जेक्ट. द प्रोसेस ऑफ इनटेक इंटरव्यू और हिस्ट्री आम कहूँ केस हिस्ट्री, तो कहूँ इनटेक इंटरव्यू. by initial interview. The process is usually starts with collecting standard information, or to which we call identification data, such as the name, age, address, education, occupation, etc. That goes on identification data. So through this data is identified. In addition to this collecting of various information through questioning, also the counselor, he pays attention to the client's non-verbal behavior. And the ପଚାରୁଛୁ ତାକୁ ଏଜୁକେସନ୍ ଅକୁପେସନ୍ ପଚାରୁଛୁ, ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଆମେ ମଧ୍ୟ ୱାଚ୍ କରୁଛୁ, we are also attending his non-verbal behavior. Non-verbal behavior କ'ଣ? ଯେଉଁଠି ସେ କିଛି ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ଟ କରୁନି, but we are taking an account of that. For example, his physical appearance, ସେ କହିଲା ବେଳେ କେମିତି କହୁଛି, ସ୍ମାଇଲିଂ ନା ଗ୍ରେଭ୍, ଆଭଏଡିଂ ନା attending. So his physical appearance, his present behavior to the client, cooperate କରୁଛି କରୁନି, the body language, ସେ କେମିତି ବସିଛି, ତାର କେମିତି ଆଇ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ, ଚାହୁଁଛି କେମିତି. So these are also conveying a lot about the client. ତାର ଯେଉଁ ଆମେ ପଚାରୁଛୁ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ, ତା ଉତ୍ତର ସାଙ୍ଗେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ତାର ନନ୍ ଭର୍ବାଲ ବା ବଡି ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜକୁ ଅବଜର୍ଭ କରୁଛୁ, that also counts very much. So thereby we get a comprehensive picture about the client. ତେଣୁ ତାର ଉତ୍ତର ଏବଂ ଆମର ଅବଜର୍ଭେସନ୍, ତାପରେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ପାଉଛୁ comprehensive picture of the client. The most important thing before the interview is the assurance of confidentiality. Because the client, ଆମେ the rapport film କରୁଛୁ, rapport building ହେଉଛି, the client is now going to be, he's trusting you. So before he starts trusting you, or before he confides in you, so he must get the assurance ଯେ ତୁମେ ଯାହା ଶୁଣୁଛ କାହାକୁ କହିବନି, କିଏ କେହି ଜାଣିବେନି. The process is in he and you. Therefore, there will be a confidential atmosphere, or it is called confidence building. So without confidence building, counseling cannot start. The client has to be assured of the security and confidentiality of all the information he is providing to the counselor. ତେଣୁ ସେ ଯେଉଁ କାଉନସେଲିଂ ଭିତରେ ଯେଉଁ କଥା କହୁଛି, ଏ ଯେଉଁ ପଛରେ ଯେଉଁ ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ସନ୍ ହେଉଛି, he must feel secure, he must feel confidential. Then only counseling can be productive, counseling can be fruitful. ସେ ତାର ଯଦି ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ନ କରିବ, ଟ୍ରଷ୍ଟ ହେବନି, ତ ରାପୋର୍ଟ ଫେଲ୍ କରିଯିବ. ତେଣୁ ରାପୋର୍ଟ ବିଲ୍ଡିଂ ଇଜ୍ ଭେରି ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ, where he must be assured of confidentiality and security. So now, this initial interview depends on so many factors as I discussed, that is data identification and all these things. So here actually as I told you, these all the informations are coming under different steps by steps. I am giving an outline of the initial interview. So how can I do that? What are the steps in the interview? So now I am going to proceed. So before that, I must tell you, did you get an idea about counseling, how to start counseling, how the counseling can be fruitful or productive, and what are the basic requisites before counseling? Could you know all these things? Could you have an idea? Hello? Hello? This is my question to you. Are you clear about counseling? What counseling is? What counseling requires? Before counseling starts, what should you do? I told you. Any idea you got? Or I have to repeat? Any doubt you ask me? Hello? No doubt. Are you all clear? I'm asking Sita,
Yes, sir.
are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Monisha, clear?
Yes, sir.
Rupali, Devasmita, all clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dharmendra,
Clear. Yes, sir.
hello.
Clear.
So actually, anybody, any doubt? So ଆମର ବହୁତ ଧାରଣା ଥାଏ ଯେ କାଉନସେଲିଂ ମାନେ ଆମର ସବୁ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ସେ ନେଇଯିବେ, ଆମର ସବୁ ବତେଇଦେବେ ବାଟ। କିନ୍ତୁ ମେନ୍ କାଉନସେଲିଂ ହେଉଛି ତୁମକୁ ତୁମ ସମସ୍ୟାର ସମାଧାନ ପାଇଁ ବାଟ ବତେଇବେ। So you should develop insight to your problem. You should try to solve your problem. So counseling enables you to solve your problem. Right? A counseling
Yes.
better counselor or counselor. The man is going to give counsel, the man is going to give counseling, and the person is taking the subject. Both should have a good relationship. जोटी ट्रस्ट प्रति so that संपर्क so that it will be effective. So now see, I am going to the next stage. The first step in counseling, that is identification data. So in the identification data, we are having two subheads. The first is you collect the name, the address, and the telephone number, because this will help in addressing the client in the first person and contacting the client whenever necessary. Information about the address will give an idea of the locality where he stays. এটা ক্লিয়ার হব নেম আর আড্রেস তুমি নেলে তুমি ডাইরেক্টলি তুমি ইউ ক্যান টক টু দি ক্লায়েন্ট সো ইউ ক্যান কন্ট্যাক্ট or you can address in the first person. Kaha madhyamare nuhe. Directly you can ask him. And also taking the phone number. Tamane ko area rahuchi kon rahuchi jani paro tumi. So you can know his locality. Right? The second one is you are asking, you are taking note of age, sex, education, occupation, and marital status. Because these things, these age, sex, education, etc., this provides information about whether the client is a minor or a mature. From the age you can know, and provide information with reliable information whether he is telling as a person who is having occupation or married or unmarried. So the information will be more reliable. Further it gives idea or give data about the education and occupational status, which gives the counselor more impression about his caliber, about his skill, about his position. So these things are required. So now see the age and sex that can help to know whether it's minor or mature, and the education also helps with the minor or mature, and the occupation, marital status. This gives idea about his present position and his skill or caliber like that. So therefore, in identification data, we take two subheadings like A and B. One is name, address, telephone. Other is age, sex, education, occupation, and marital status. The second heading for the initial interview or this this is actually the first one is identification data, but the second one is information data, or you can say information related to the problem. So here when you counsel somebody, the person who comes for counseling, so he comes with a problem and he comes to take your help to solve the problem. So here, as a counselor, you should first know what the problem is. So this heading or this step is problem related information. Or in this heading, you want to take information relating to the problem of the counselee. So here, whatever information the client gives about his problem should be recorded. Tara kona problem, you should record it. And here, you can also ask the client in the following way. You have like this. Suppose you have a problem. You are the client, I am the counselor. So I can ask you like this. So you have a problem, but does the problem interfere in your day-to-day situations or day-to-day activities? If so, to what extent? So the counselor first wants to know that the counselee has a problem. It's all right, it's fine. But does the problem interfere with his day-to-day activities? If says no, no problem. If says yes, then to what extent? The second point, what are the thoughts? What are the feelings? And what are the behaviors associated with the problem? Suppose there is a problem, he told about a problem, so you can ask him, what are the thoughts, what are the feelings linked to the problem? When the problem is there, what are the feelings? How does he face the problem? How does he actually take the problem? Is it so serious or casual? So what are the thoughts, feelings and behavior linked to the problem? You are asking him. And thirdly, when he has a problem, then you ask him, since when he had the problem? So, since when you have the problem and how frequently the problem is occurring. So, since when, how frequently? So, is it casually or repeatedly? So, how frequently? And next point, what pattern of events usually lead to the problems? A problem ହେଲା ପରେ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ଘଟୁଛି ବା କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ହେଲେ ଏ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ସୃଷ୍ଟି ହେଉଛି. So what events lead to the problem? Before the problem occurs, what are the patterns of events? And when the problem occurs or when the pattern of events occur, with whom? What happens before and after the problem occurs? So these things you have to note down. And next, what made the client seek counseling? Suppose he's having problem. Yes, nothing to worry. Everybody has some problem. But why he is coming for help? So what makes him seek the help? So that must also be clarified. He will tell that because of the problem I'm not able to sleep, I have lost sleep, I am not able to, I have lost appetite, or I feel depressed, something will tell. So now you can ask that why you have come for counseling? You will tell I have the problem, this leads to this, therefore I have come for counseling. So that is the point. So what made the client seek counseling? That is all problem related information you are getting from the counselee or from the subject or from the client at the second step. And thirdly, you are going to take client's present life situation. So presently, what is doing? What is his life situation? This means how is a typical day or a week in the client's life? So how does he pass the day? How did he pass the week? What are the relevant feelings he had in the day or the week? So how is a typical day or week in the client's life? Secondly, what type of activities related to social, religious, recreational does the client take off? So the client having problem, no, that's all. He's having problem, but doesn't matter so much. If with that problem, he is able to cope with his social, religious, or recreational activities. Now I'm asking whether you are able to mix with others, whether you are having your social activities as usual, or whether you are having any problem in your social activities, or whether you are having any religious problem. Is anybody preventing you from your spiritual practices? Or any recreational problem? Are you going for leisure time activities? Are you going for playing? Are you going for passing time with friends? So that is recreational activities. So what type of activities you are doing? That the personal, I told you beginning in this point leads to is present life situation. So presently the client, how he spends his time, that is important. Then next, what is the nature of present educational and vocational situation? So what is reading, whether is reading as per his expectation in the classroom, how is he feeling, or his job in vocation, in the vocation job, how is feeling himself with others. So these things are there in his personal category. So here, so he actually reveals his problems associated with his educational or vocational situations, and thereby the counselor knows about his present personal or present life situation. That gives an idea to the counselor about his current problems. And the next heading, that is family setting. So here, the counselor, when he's going to give counseling, so you see, first he tried to take his identification data like name, age, all these things. Then he took the data about the problem, and thirdly, he took the data about his present life situation. So presently, what type of life he's spending, present situation, and now he's going to know his family, the present family situation. So, in which family, in what way he's staying, that also contribute to one's problem. So, here in this setting, in the fourth step, in the family setting, the counselor wants to know the education, not only the, so earlier we tried to know about the counselee or the client. Now we're going to know not about client, about the client's father, his parents, father, mother, brother, sister, siblings, or friends. So all these things. So, but in the family now here, we want to specifically know his parents, his siblings, and his family problems. So therefore, first of all, we want to know the age, education, and occupation of his father or of his mother. So the parental age, parental education, parental occupation, this is very relevant. Secondly, we want to know not only their age, education, occupation, also we want to know about their personalities. What type of person the father is or the mother is. So how he rates his father. Suppose he says father is very angry man, very hard personality, or the father is not cooperative, or the mother is very cooperative, or mother is discriminating. So all these things. So here the client may give an idea about the personality of the father or the parents, father or mother. So here we should know how are the personalities of the father and mother. Next, we should know not only the parent-child interaction, we want to know how the father and mother they are doing. I mean, what is the relationship between father and mother? Whether the father and mother they are doing well between themselves, among themselves or not. Whether father and mother they are putting on well with each other or not. Then we come to, first of all, whether father and mother they are doing well among themselves or not. Then we come to whether the father and the client and the mother and the client they are doing well or not. So here we emphasize on the first relationship between parents and second relationship between parent and child. So here with other factors also we can also take down his relationship with the siblings. Siblings means brother, sister. Also relationship with the grandparents. Suppose there is a grandfather, grandmother. What are the relationship, or how is he linked with them, or any joint family? So how is he linked with them, or what is their effect on them, or how does he feel about them? That is all contributing to his problems. Therefore, we should know it. The next point is number of siblings. If he has sisters and brothers, then how many number of siblings? In one family, there may be only one member, one child, nuclear. In another family, there may be many. Sometimes in some families, as we find, the members are 12, 13 like that also. In some religion, we find some people in some community, they are having very large number of members, large number of siblings. So that also has some effect on the problem of the client. So number of siblings, their names, age, sex, and the birth order. What is the order of the birth? I mean, this child or this client who has come, whether he is first born or last born or middle born, and the birth order and the birth order of all his siblings, and their education and the occupation and the marital status, whether the brother and sisters in the family they are married or not. So these things, all these things, they contribute to the problem building of the client. Therefore, information about the siblings, their age, name, sex, birth order, education, occupation, and status, marital status is very relevant. The next point is there any history of long physical or mental illness or disturbances in the family? So now the client has come for his problem. Now our question is whether he has any family history. This means in the family, is there anybody who is physically ill very much? Somebody in the family, somebody is ill, chronic illness. So that also affects other members. So is there anybody physically ill, or is there anybody mentally ill, mentally disturbed in the family? So that history also to be taken. And next point is family mobility. There are some clans, they have a peculiar background. As you know, the father or mother, they are the owning member. So when they are transferred, the children are also transferred. So now you can just assess, that is family mobility. So how many places the family has lived in, or how many times the parents have changed their jobs. This means when parents are changing jobs, so we are changing also places. So now this indication of mobility. So this gives insight the stability of the family or the mobility of this family. And when you are having mobility, I mean changing from place to place, then you are having different socio-cultural exposure. So here, by knowing about the mobility of the client in his previous days, or also in the days he's in the present days also, when he's having mobility changing also due to his parents' jobs, parents' positions. So now this may be also affect to his problem. So here his sociocultural exposure, or he is not exposed to anything, only one particular situation, that also may affect his own way of interacting with others. So thereby, this fourth step, family setting, is very important to know about the counseling, or to know about the person or the subject, and also to know about the problem well. The next point, that is personal history. So here, are you all comfortable? Are you all comfortable?
Yes,
Yes. Why are you not giving me a quick response?
yes, sir.
Then only
Yes,
I'll be
sir.
sure that. Sometimes I feel that you are not able to hear me. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any problem arising in my interaction or my saying? Should I be very slow or very, or should I be very, anything you want to change in my way of speaking? Is it usual? Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were earlier collecting about the persons or the clients, name, sex, education, his information about a problem, or his family setting, or his present life situation. Now we come to his personal history. So, how a person he is. So, what about him? And here we don't want to know about his family or about his other problems. We want to know about him in person. What is that? First, we should know, or we ask about his educational history. In history of education, educational history, want to know academic progress or academic achievement from nursery to high school or post high school level. So, what was his academic achievement in early days? Then, how about the client in his academic career, which includes his talent, hobbies, involvements in different activities, or his peer relationship and relationship with the teachers. Now, you see, here one thing very important. Not only how he was reading, not only how he was achieving, not only what was his school feedback, also along with his academic career, where you know his talents, we wanted to know what were his hobbies, or what was his hobby, what was his different activities in the school, his involvement in different activities, and what was his peer relationship. Peer relationship is relationship with friends. So how many friends he had, how many good friends, or how many reliable friends, how many close friends. So what was his peer relationship? And also lastly, how was he related to the teacher? How did he like his teacher? How, and also how did the teacher like him? So what was his impression about teachers? And what was his assessment of his teachers? So now this gives an idea about the talent, about his sociability in the class, about his relationship, and also about his involvement in different activities. Next point, we come to work experience. Suppose the client is working somewhere in some job. So now you can ask him whether you are having a job, part-time job or a full-time job. And even some job like full or part-time, you ask him what is the nature of your job, what type of job you are doing, what is the duration of your job, how much time or how long you can continue here. Nature of job, duration of job, since when you are joining, or since when you are working, what is the job contract? Then any significant experience or achievement during work, any significant experience, any work experience, whether you are very happy in the job, whether you did not become very happy, or could you achieve so well in your job, or could you not do well in your job, or could the boss like you, or the boss could not appreciate you. So all these things. Also at the same time, when you are in the job, you are working with other people, then now the question is, other friends who are working with you also, how did they like you? How did they rate you? Whether you liked them. So what was your working style and what was their working style? So what was your appreciation? Whether you were being appreciated or not. So these things, that is your appreciation of your co-workers and their appreciation of you, that also should be revealed. So that also gives a lot about the client. That is work experience. Then you come to medical history. So about any illness problem, any health problem of the client. For example, did the client have any major illness or major injury, or did he undergo any surgery in his childhood? So these are all giving some medical experiences. So does he have that? And the medical experience may be traumatic experiences, or maybe some unfamiliar or unpleasant experiences he may be having. So that is coming under medical history. You are collecting his medical history. The next point, suppose he is married. If the person, the client is an adult and is also married, then you want to take his marital history. And here you want to know, first of all, you can ask whether you are married or not. If yes, then how do you like your spouse? If the spouse is so cooperative, if the spouse is not cooperative, so your relationship with the opposite sex or partner or spouse, तुम्हारा स्वामी सागे भल पड़ुची कि नहीं, और तुम्हें पता पुଅ ପିଲାଟିକୁ ତୁମ ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଭଲ ପଡ଼ୁଛି କି ନାହିଁ, କେବେ ବାହା ହେଲ, କେତେ ଦିନ ହେଲା ବାହା ହେଲଣି, କେମିତି ଦିନ କି ଚାଲୁଛି, କେମିତି ସବୁ ଏକ ଚଳୁଛ ଠିକ୍ ନା ବେଳେବେଳେ କଳକି ଯାଉଛି, ତୁମର ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଲାଇଫରେ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ହେଉଛି ଏସବୁ ପଚରାଯିବ। So also any present or previous emotional involvement, ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କିଛି ଗୋଳମାଳ ରହୁଛି କି ନାହିଁ, ଚାଲିଛି କିଛି କି ନାହିଁ, ପ୍ରିଭିୟସ୍ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ହେଇଛି କି ନାହିଁ, ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କେମିତି ଅଛ ମଧ୍ୟ, that are taking into consideration. And also ଯଦି ବାହାଘର ଭାଙ୍ଗିଯାଏ, ବାହାଘର ପରେ ବ୍ରେକ୍ କରିଛି, ଡିଭୋର୍ସ ହେଇଛି, କି ଅଲଗା ରହୁଛ, କି ମନମାଳିନ ହେଇଛି, ତାହେଲେ ତୁମର ପଚରାଯିବ ତା କାରଣ କ'ଣ, କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ହେଇଛି, କ'ଣ କେଉଁଥିପାଇଁ ତୁମର ଏମିତି ବ୍ରେକ୍ କଲା ମ୍ୟାରେଜ। So all these questions will be asked to the client to collect this information so that you can know him in a better way. Then the next point, is there any previous counseling experience? माने तुम्हें आगुरी केबे काउंसलिंग पे आसीच कि मो पाखे नहले भी अन्य का पाखु जाइथिलो कि तुमर काउंसलिंग रो किछि अभिज्ञता अछि कि। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, इज द क्लाइंट करेंटली यूजिंग ड्रग और अल्कोहल? बेले बेले सब जो आसंती क्लाइंट आसंती बा आसंती जो सब काउंसलिंग नवा पाई तार मानसिक यंत्रणा न थाए, तेणु ड्रग यूज करती बा अल्कोहल यूज करती, तेणु यहाँ पचर तुम्हें बर्तमान किसी ड्रग यूज करुच कि बा किसी अल्कोहल फल्कोहल यूज करुच कि बा केबे आगुरी करुल कि, जदि करुच केते थर करुच दिन को, हाउ मेनी टाइम्स, how much and with what times you are doing. So the detail about this drug and alcohol use should be recorded. The next point is, does the client have any personal or career goals in life? बेले बेले लोक बहुत गोल थाए, गोटे बहुत आगुरी थाए या करी बोली, से गोल रीच करवा नियर हुए बा गोल यदि अचीव करें बोली मन धारणा सृष्टि हो जाए, तांकर बेले बिहेवियर रे बहुत परिवर्तन घटे। गोल दूरे गले गोटे आरंभ हुए फ्रस्ट्रेशन, गोल नियर हो गले से गोटे भी साइकोलॉजिकल फीलिंग सृष्टि हुए। तेणु ये जो गोल जो सेटिंग बा एनी तुम दी एनी गोल्स इन लाइफ, कैरियर गोल्स आगुरी अच्छी, से गोल विषय तुम वेरी इंपोर्टेंट। सो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ गोल्स यू आर हैविंग, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ कैरियर गोल्स यू आर हैविंग इन योर लाइफ, व्हाट आर दे, गोल कौन, that also you should know. Some people also have their goals which are very impracticable. So the goals are there which is not reachable. Difficult goal. Suppose somebody make a goal of very high level, but the caliber is not like that. Naturally, that will lead to some frustration. So here, you should know what type of goal he is having. Right? Some career goals. Yeah, I want to be a doctor. But to be a doctor, you should have also good preparations. You should have good talent. Or I should be an IS. This goal you are having. But for that you should develop your skill also, knowledge also, talent also. So keeping goal not very important. Keeping goal is not very important, but to keep the right goal, appropriate goal, achievable goal is very important. So now you see, you are now inquiring about the client's career goals or about the other goals in life. The next point. So to come to the last point. So here we discussed about the personal history, We discussed about the family history. We discussed about the data history, personal data. We discussed about his present life situations. So now we come to know about the description of the client, how the client is. So here, after recording, after hearing all these things, now we are going to record or down first the temperament of the client. Now the client, how is he? Whether he is very warm, friendly, or whether he is very callous, he avoids friends, or he is not warm, he is a cold blooded. I mean, he doesn't interact with people so freely. So that you want to know his temperament. Is a warm or friendly? Is energetic or dull? Is lethargic or energetic? That we should also assess. Is he very active or inactive? So whenever he is involving somewhere, he is actively involving or not. That you should know also. That is all about the temperament. Then secondly, you should know about his behavior or mannerisms. So here, it is mannerisms or behavior. Whether it is fidgeting, fidgeting माने से तो व्यस्त हाथ फाथ हलैबा एंजाइटी हो आउट ऑफ डिस्कस्ट हो he is having his body movements. So that is whether he is fidgeting, whether he is nail biting. बहुत सारे देखो पिलामान सब नेल बाइट करती बड़ बयस्क लोक मैंने नेल बाइट करती नेल बाइट गोटे हाबिट नेल बाइटिंग बेले बेले गोटे इट इज ए मैनरिज्म इंडिकेट सम बिहेवियरल प्रॉब्लम्स सो फिजेटिंग नेल बाइटिंग डिसरप्टिव बिहेवियर हाइपरएक्टिव बिहेवियर आलुपनेस गोटे कम आलुप बसवे किसी कहते आलुफ आज इज अवे फ्रम दि प्रोब्लेम आलुपनेस बेले हाइपर एक्टिव हाथ गोटे जोर हलाउे हाथ को बाड़े टिक टिक करुवे डिसरप्टिव बिहेवियर थी बेले धरते कौन कौन छिंडे सो बेले हाई जोर मारुवे बस बोर जाऊे सो दे आर ऑल हिज फिजेटिंग बिहेवियर नेल बाइटिंग बिहेवियर डिसरप्टिव बिहेवियर aloofness. These are the mannerisms or behavioral problems you are also noticing. When the client is sitting before the counselor for a good deal of time, in that period, you are very clearly, very vigilantly noticing about his mannerism. Because mannerism speaks many things about his personality. And next, we come to his body language. Body language mostly include his body movement, his facial expression, his postures, his gestures, his eye contact. Suppose the client is talking to you. Expectedly, he should look at you and you should look at the client. But the client doesn't look at you. The client always sitting, nodding his head down. So now you are observing whether the client is having eye contact with you or not. He looks at you or not. Other is, or he looking at what type of, to what corner, what point, to which place. He's talking to you, you are talking to him, but he's looking somewhere. So his eye contact and his gestures, what type of gestures is he making? So his smile or his tense from the paleness of the face, his body posture, and the facially tense or relaxed. So all these things, because the face, eyes, they tell many things. So from that body language, that facial expression, posture, gesture, eye contact, you can also get clues about his behavior, personality. So next is the language. So when you are speaking or when you are addressing the client is also responding. You're asking question, you're asking something, he is responding. So now you are observing what type of language he is using. Whether he is using the language clearly, otherwise he is using the language in an inaudible way, audibly or inaudibly. What is the fluency of the language? Whether he is fluent in his talk or not, whether he is coherent or not. Coherent means relevant to the, that is talk relevance. Whether talking relevant or not. Is it coherent or not? Is it logical or not? Whether it talks logical or not. Suppose it talks in a way which is illogical, impractical. So this means he has no clarity in his thought. So now his language, whether logical or not, then the tone of voice. This means whether he is talking in a really audible tone or not, in what tone, in what pitch he is going to speak. So the tone of the voice is relevant. Is a coarse voice, slow voice, sweet voice, or what type of voice, what type of tone, that also we are observing. So all these things, all these observations that we are making as above should be noted down, and every aspect of client's behavior and personality should be assessed accordingly. So how open was the client, the degree of motivation and interest shown during counseling is very relevant. So whether the client was open or not. Open means he is going to tell everything, or telling something and not suppressing something, not like that. Whether he is open or not. And the interest and motivation shown by the client in counseling is important. Whether he is showing interest in taking counseling or not. Whether he is motivated or not. If he is not motivated for that, then he cannot show an interest. So the interest in counseling. Again also, you can observe the self-concept of the client. How does he feels about himself? How does he estimate himself? The client's strengths and weaknesses, where the client is very strong. At what point the client is clear. The client is very strong in his approach, in his thoughts. Where he is strong, where he is weak. Even in some job level or school achievement level or any type of things is associated, he can speak whether he is having any weak or strong involvement, and the competencies he indicates where he is very competent, where he is very, he feels he is very capable, that also to be recorded. So here all these things are very relevant to know about the client, after which you can clearly or properly assess is the problem, and you can go further, proceed further. In the interview process, when you collect all the informations, then after the interview is over, at the end, you analyze all the information obtained above and see how the different informations provided by the client may be linked to the problem. So initially, at the beginning, the client has presented his problem. He has told about a problem. So now you have gathered so many informations. Now you are trying to link all the information that are collected to the problem. In this process, it will help the counselor to put the problem in a proper perspective. So now the counselor can analyze the problem with all the tips of observation in a proper way. This will help the counselor to decide what type of counseling approach will be helpful to the client. So here the counselor should take down or take into account the social and cultural background of the client to provide appropriate counseling. So when he is able to know the social and cultural background, then he can understand the problem in a better way. So therefore, after assessing his background, social, cultural, and all other backgrounds are discussed earlier, then we can go for the appropriate or effective counseling. So now here, in this practicum, we have to collect the data through initial interview as above. And through data collection of the initial interview, we can go for our counseling suggestions or counseling advice. So through this data, we can know the problem correctly. We can have our better assessment of the client. Then we can go for other steps. So now the question for you. So after hearing this, are you all able to go for this interview or collection of case history or collection of initial interview? Are you all able? Give me the answer. After hearing this, are you feeling confident that you can be a good counselor also?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Yes, you are telling your name, please. Oliva.
Oliva, sir.
Oh, good. So now see, anybody else? Anybody else who have felt confident to go for to do counseling?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Abhipsa, good. Then others, still others are thinking.
Yes, sir.
Manisha also doing very good. Vijay, Vijay Kumar,
Yes, sir.
are you confident you can do counseling?
Okay, sir.
Oh, you are slow. You are speaking slowly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you all. But now think counseling. People go to the counselor with a lot of hopes, but the work of the counselor is to know his problem in detail, is to know his background. Then he can help him or building his own self-concept so that he can solve these things by himself. So how the counselor will do that? By hearing this, then he put this. Suppose somebody says this like this is like this like this, then the counselor can put if this is this like this, then how will you do? What is the best way of doing? This is the situation. 1, 2, 3 like this. So what could be the best way? Naturally, when you put it before the client, he will know by himself. He can know what should be the solution. So automatically by this process, the client can know that what should be the real way of interaction, what should be the right way of interaction, so that the problem will gradually fade away. So in the counseling, you always should note that initial interview is very important. So I think all of you can collect the initial interview of a client who has come for your help as follows, right? Should I go for the next experiment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anyway, are there any question in this topic, in this initial interview? Any question or case history or initial interview as I discussed? Any question? Please ask me. I'll clarify. Any question? No. Yes, you are free. You can ask any question. No problem. Anywhere you feel to be little more clarified? No. Are you asking anybody? No. Then the next topic you are going to do, that is intelligence testing. So intelligence all about is a very big question for all of us. So everybody feels to be sure what is intelligence. Who is intelligent? How can you define intelligence? That's a big issue. Intelligence is such a term. We define this in different way. As such, as yet, we cannot get a concrete term to speak that this is intelligence. Sometimes we find that somebody is reading well, somebody is playing well, somebody is talking well, somebody is more adjusting well. So we say they are intelligent. Then actually is intelligent only linked to achievement? Some people they are not reading well, but consequently they become very big shots. Some backbenchers in the school, sometimes they become they reach new height, very high level of goal in life. So then who is intelligent? Is the person reading well is intelligent? Or the doing well intelligent? Or achieving well intelligent? Or solving problems well intelligent? So we are having all these different questions in mind, that what intelligence is. Wexler, one author, one psychologist, he defined intelligence as aggregate or global capacity to act purposefully, to think rationally, and to deal effectively with environment. So now everybody is growing within an environment. So how he interact with the environment, whether he interacts purposefully, whether he interacts rationally. So irrational means illogical. So he is thinking rationally, thinking logically, acting purposefully, or dealing effectively or not. If doing so, then Wechsler told, then he is intelligent. So in the words of Wechsler, the person who think rationally, who deal effectively, or who act purposefully is an intelligent fellow. But Binet, Alfred Binet, is a French inventor of modern intelligence. So Binet actually is the person. So actually he is the person who practically brought intelligence into the question. The modern intelligence is practically done by Binet. Alfred Binet, we can say him as inventor of modern intelligence test. So he told that intelligence can be manifested in different mental activities, mental abilities like reasoning, imagination, insight, judgment, and adaptability. So the reasoning capability, as you know, that is justifying, something justifying with reasoning, with propriety, or imagining in a proper way, or the insight, or judging properly, and also adaptability means adjusting properly. So these are the signs. These are the signs of intelligence. Alfred Binet, a French psychologist, as the inventor of the modern intelligence, he believed that these are the qualities suggesting a person to be intelligent. Some others also held that all cognitive abilities, whether the abstraction, learning, dealing with novelty, as we call the general factor, we underlying things are general factor. And these cognitive abilities, they are indicating intelligence. Also, there are some specific abilities like artistic ability, like linguistic ability, like mathematical ability, like spiritual ability. We can refer to this as constituting specific factors. So, in such a ways, intelligence can be discussed as G factor and X factor. The cognitive abilities, they are contributing to G factor, and the specific abilities, as we discussed, they are the S factor. But on the whole, we can define intelligence in 3 ways, 3 points. Number 1, the ability to behave adaptively. This means the ability to adjust to changing situations so well. How adaptive you are, how accommodating you are, that is the ability to behave adaptively. And secondly, the ability to function successfully to solve different kinds of problems. And in the day-to-day life, we face so many problems. So how to face these problems? So how successfully we are able to face the problem? That is indicating our intelligence. And thirdly, not only solving problems, not only doing good adaptability, or not only being much adaptive, also learning new informations. How quickly we learn, the ability to learn quickly. And here, learning quickly to solve problem also. So that is also indicating your IQ or intelligence. So now we can review this like this: the ability to behave adaptively, the ability to function successfully in an environment. So a man who is successful, we can say is intelligent. A man who is adaptive, we can say intelligent. And a man who learns new things and solves the problems quickly, we can say he is also intelligent. So, moreover, we can say that we take all these things as indications of intelligence, but moreover, we have a problem to see how can we test it. What are the test measures? So, each intelligence and ability to profit from experience or what it else measures. Any pragmatic things as we assess from the behavior or anything, what we can know, how can you measure the intelligence? That has been always a big question. Actually, measuring intelligence was a very crucial problem. Everybody can describing intelligence, but how to measure it? It was a problem. And the first man who did that was Francis Galton in 1884. So he was a mathematician and a naturalist. A naturalist and a mathematician, he first took step how to measure intelligence. Then Cattell, he is in the end of the 19th century also, he made significant contribution to measure the intelligence by studying individual differences. But the mental testing as a movement developed by Alfred Binet and his friend Theophil Simon in 1905. So Binet and Simon, they actually tried to emphasize on measuring intelligence, and practically they made a movement of intelligence measurement. So actually for them it was a task because the French government wanted to know about the intelligence level of the students in the classroom. So what level of intelligence students can be admitted to the class, and what are the other students who are not able to cope with the class performance. So what are the backbenchers, what are the students level of IQ, intelligence, so that they are not able to catch up. So the students who are having having merit or standard and who are lacking in that, or who are retarded or mentally not advantaged, mentally or mentally not of that level. So to discriminate for the students who are suitable for some class and who are not suitable, they wanted to give this task to Binay and Simon to measure the mental level of the students while they are taking admission to schools. Side by side, they also wanted to know the retarded children or the severe retarded children, also the degree of dependent retardation, and how to suggest the courses for them. What could be the ways for their development? This was interested to both Binay and Simon. And Binay actually wanted to measure the intelligence from the reasoning and problem solving abilities. Binay first published his paper in 1905 with Simon, and they constructed a scale to test intelligence by using the items of common information, the word definitions, the reasoning items, and the ingenuity. By taking all the items, they made a scale to measure the mental health level, or to measure the mental level. And Binay and Simon, they said the mental level goes in harmony with the physical level. I mean the man, or the child who is 7-year-old in physical age, chronological age, should also have 7-year mental age. Sometimes some children, they grow physically well, but not mentally. The physical age or chronological age and the mental age sometimes differ, mismatch. Some children, they are not physically so well, but mentally very, very strong. The reversal also possible. In slow children, there is less mental level. But the bright children, it's the reverse. They may be slow physical level, but high mental level. So this physical level, physical age, is called as chronological age or actual age. So Binay, in his scale, he arranged items with increasing difficulty. And how the child goes on, I mean, the child doing all difficult level in a higher way is indicating his higher mental age. Subsequently, Lewis Terman, so he wanted to use another scale. He also borrowed some concept of Binay, but his scale was SBIS. So that scale is called Stanford Binay Intelligence Scale, SBIS. Then Stanford in his scale, he used the concept of MA. MA means mental age or mental level of Binay. Binay was using the word MA, that is mental age. to indicate mental level and chronological age to mental the actual age level. The Torman for the first time he used the term IQ, intelligence quotient, and to get an index of intelligence, to have a concrete measure of intelligence, he used the term IQ. And IQ is mental health, mental age by chronological age into 100. So Torman used this IQ. Then subsequently, the German psychologist Stern, he also used the IQ, and IQ developed from the concepts like MA and CA, which were already using by Binet in his testing on intelligence. So here we can say that a person with high IQ is able to solve higher mental problems, is able to have higher reasoning level, is able to have higher productivity. As such, Torman made a scale that is 164 and over. The persons having IQ were genius or near genius. And 148 to 164, they were very superior intelligence. 132, 148 was superior intelligence. 113 to 132, they were above all or above average intelligence. Above average intelligence. 84 to 113, they were normal or average intelligence. So now see 84 to 113, we are taken as normal according to Torman. And below 84, that's 68 to 84, dullness. Anybody below 84 is dull. And also below 68, that 52 to 60 is borderline. And lastly, below 52, they were feeble-minded. I mean, having very low IQ. So as you say, is a type of retarded students. They are retarded, highly retarded people. The above score obtained by converting raw scores into standard scores. So Stanford gave these scores by converting raw score to standard score, and thereby indicated the level of intelligence of the children at different level, and from which you could know the level of retardation among the children in the school. In 1939, Wechsler developed a new test, that is Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale, WAIS, wherein Wechsler used both verbal and non-verbal questionnaires to measure the efficiency of the children. The verbal scale in West consisted of information comprehension, consisted of arithmetic similarity, consisted of vocabulary, and consisted of number sequencing, etc. And the performance scale. So the verbal scale and the other is the performance scale. And the performance scale consisted the digit symbol, picture completion or block design, or matrix reasoning or assembly and symbol search. So thereby Stanford and Wechsler scales advanced to measure the intelligence in different ways. And Wechsler, in his IQ range, he categorized 145 over as very superior, 135 to 145 superior, 115 to 13 above average, 85 to 115 average, 70 to 85 below average, 60 to 75 borderline, and below 60 and below, they are defective persons having very low IQ, or they are very highly retarded category persons. Apart from that, there are many tests to measure intelligence, like scholastic achievement test, the performance test. Also, we are having paper pencil test, all the performance test. So here, both verbal and performance tests like scholastic, paper pencil, all are advanced subsequently. But it appeared there are some tests were influenced by different cultural factors, and subsequently steps were taken to take culture fair test. Culture fair test means this test can be applicable in different culture uniformly. Looking into that, J.C. Raven, he developed one test, that is SPM, Standard Progressive Matrices. So this particular test of intelligence is emphasized for today to you all, because you will have to make an experiment on this particular SPM. So the SPM is called as Standard Progressive Matrices. This means Raven, he wanted to use a non-verbal test to measure intelligence, because verbal test mostly affected by different cultures, not culture fair. Because the language we are using, the context we are using, may not be culture fair. So non-verbal tests are mostly culture fair. Therefore, Raven used this culture fair non-verbal test to measure intelligence, and here the purpose of Raven was to design a test to measure person's ability to form perceptual relation. So cognitive abilities are emphasized, and here the population is applicable to persons starting from age 6 years age to adult also, and almost like the state is given for 45 minutes. And the Raven's progressive matrices test was developed in England during the World War II, as it is a non-verbal culture fair test. It was very popular also, and it was indicating the reasoning capacity also, widely applicable, widely appreciated. And through this RPM, Raven aimed to measure the adaptive component, I mean the G factor, that is cognitive ability. And here the adaptive ability is the ability to forge new insights, the ability to discern meaning in confusion, the ability to perceive, and the ability to identify relationship. So here In this test, in each item, in each test item, the subject is asked to identify the missing part of the pattern. So here we are presenting many patterns which may form as 4 into 4 or 3 into 3 or 2 into matrix. So from this, it is called as a test on matrix, progressive matrices. So it is progressively more and more difficult. So therefore it is called as progressive matrices. And the problem requires analytic as well as integrating operations. So we can say it requires insight, and from this you can know the person's level of intelligence. And this test or this SPM can be of different types. It can be standard progressive matrices. It can be colored progressive matrices. It can also be advanced progressive matrices. The standard progressive matrices is very commonly used. So now, am I clear? Are you all attending? Response from you. I am just
Yes, sir.
continuing. Sita, how are you? Are you following?
Yes, sir. Class run.
About Monisha?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Then anybody else? Nilu, how are you? Nilu,
Good evening, sir.
so how are you? Are you comfortable?
Ji, sir.
Urpali, are also clear?
Yes, sir.
Acha, very good. Then anybody uh, asking anything? Then I'll go to the test now. So I told you the background of the test. I told you so many tests. Now I will pinpoint on the test. So any doubt you are having, you can ask me now about intelligence, about all the about mental health, about IQ, about chronological age, so mental age. So everything you can ask me now. So such conceptual things you have to be clarified.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, ask me. Very good.
Sir, like we have taken, it's
So
a basic question.
are you Devasmita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yes, ask me.
Sir, it's a basic question actually. Like, suppose I'm in E to sir counseling psychology. We have taken counseling psychology. So, in practical, we are supposed to do those tests which you have right now told us. But, sir,
Yes,
like, suppose we are going to go for counseling psychology as a career option. So,
yes,
when we start doing that as a part of our career in the initial period,
correct.
uh, when we'll be going for, suppose, let's say school counseling, children
Right,
counseling,
right.
so we are going to conduct any of these kind of tests depending on the requirement, or like how do we start with?
No, you have to. First of all, I told you about the counseling initial interview.
Right, sir. So
So
that
there
will be
you
the
have to
parameter, right?
collect all the information about the person.
Yes, sir.
So then you can have then you can suggest anything about the career building.
Right, sir.
So now we are going for the intelligence test.
Yes, sir.
We are going to measure intelligence. So in a career choice, people choose many things. There are many
Right, sir.
dreams, many type of goal setting. But before that, we should see whether they are intelligent enough to do that or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So here also through this testing, we want to know their intelligence. So how intellectually they are fit into, right?
Yes, sir.
So these are all inclusive. So for career counseling or anything counseling, we are going to include such practical topics, but they are all conducive to the counseling process, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, any more question?
So, like, why I ask this question is because suppose those people who have taken clinical psychology, they are
Uh-huh.
mostly dealing with disorders. So they conduct those depression test or any TAT test. So to know to go to different levels, they do that. But for counseling, which is a very generic subject, we might go for a child counseling or marital counseling or family counseling. So we have to go with the first the skill inventory, like you told us in the first instance. Then,
Right.
depending on the requirement of the client, what we have, accordingly we conduct the test, right, sir?
So you see one thing, in the clinical field, they are going for their cause, symptoms, and their applying medicines or cures. They are going for the its recovery, all these aspects. But in counseling, we are going to the problem. They have a problem. We are bothered how to solve the problem, right? So we are not
Yes.
going to further clinical conditions. So, but in counseling, I told you in initial interview, we are studying, observing whether he has any physical health problem or mental health problem in his family or not. Isn't it? I told you.
Yes,
But
sir. Yes, sir.
that is disturbing. That is causing problem in him. So we want to know the problem, its cause, the problem, its cause, its effect, and how can we remove the problem? How the particular person will be empowered, how develop the self-concept, so that he can be able to solve the problem, meet the problem. But in counseling, clinical field, this is in counseling. In the clinical field, they know the cause of the disease, they know the symptom of the disease, they look at the symptoms. Through these symptoms, they can say this is the disease. So they know the cause and they go for the remedy. That's something separate. In the clinical field, their field is something separate. In counseling field, we are oriented to a problem behavior. And the person is now being trained, or the person is knowing how to solve his own problem. Right?
Right, sir. Right,
So
sir.
the counseling don't mix with clinical field. Sometimes you are having clinical counseling because you are counseling to remove his clinical symptoms, clinical problems. But clinical psychology is something very big area that deals with treatment, that is cause, treatment, remedy, everything. So here only we are oriented to problem of the client. We should know the problem, we should know the cause of the problem, we should empower the person how to solve the problem. And the counseling cannot be done in a single session. He has to come for different sessions. So gradually he is building confidence in himself. Not the one day. He is very much confident to solve it. So gradually through interaction, he is developing himself. He is developing his own concept, developing his own idea. So he is now getting more and more able to solve his own problem. Could you get me?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Okay. So then, anybody else? Any question? I'm very happy if you're asking some questions. So be clear. The conceptual clarity should be there. Anybody asking question? Okay, thank you, Devasmita. So I'm coming to the main topic or the to which you can conduct in the laboratory also, or you can conduct in the conduct with the person concerned, either in a group level or in a single level, either in a laboratory or in a person. You can do this test. This is standard progressive matrices. These are, I told you there are three types of matrices. Standard, that is one standard progressive matrices, also these color matrices or advanced progressive matrices, all these things. But the standard progressive matrices SPM, which was developed by Raven, J.C. Raven, a British person, a British man, an Englishman. It can be used in homes, it can be used in schools, it can be used in workplace, also can be used in laboratories. The test is made of 5 sets. There are 5 sets A to E. A to E, that is, there are 5 sets, and each set consisting of 12 items. So now see, 5 sets, each consisting 12 items. This means there are 60 items. So the 60 items can be used to assess his ability or a person's ability to solve a problem. So now see, the sets, these 5 sets, contain diagrammatic puzzles. There are puzzle figures. They exhibit serial chains in 2 dimensions, either a pattern or shape. And each puzzle has a missing part. The person taking the test has to find the missing part. Some options are given below. From the missing options, from the options given, he has to rightly choose the most suitable missing part. The total 60 problems are there, and the problems are increasingly difficult. So you know, so the word is a progressive matrix. Progressive means they are increasingly difficult, progressively difficult. So please remember this. This is called progressive matrices. So matrix means a complex design. And here we are having progressive matrices. Means these complex designs are there and the complexity is gradually increasing. So could you follow me? Why I call it progressive matrices? Because gradually it is being increasingly difficult. In each set, the first problem is nearly as possible self-evident, means first problem is easier. And all the items are presented in black ink on a white background. The 5 sets provide 5 opportunities to grasp the method of thought required to solve the problem, and 5 progressive assessments of a person's capacity for intellectual capacity. So now you can see the problems are also presented in your book, in your booklet. So in each problem, you will find there is a missing part. Out of the given options, which one is more suitable? You have to make a choice. And your choice gives an idea about your ability, cognitive ability, or mental ability, or reasoning ability. So all these things. So these progressive matrices, this experiment can really give a clue to your intellectual level, to your reasoning level, to your skill level, or on the whole, it can give an idea about your intelligence. And sometimes this progressive matrices test may not be able or may not be helpful to the elderly people or for the very young children. Therefore, these matrices can be also colored. By coloring the matrices, it can be more attractive and it can have more attention. It can contain more attention. Thereby, a new type of progressive matrices were also designed, which are called as colored progressive matrices. And these matrices were designed for younger children or the elderly and people with moderate or severe learning difficulties. The students were having serious difficulties in learning. So to make them, to catch them at their attention more or to make them more attentive, these colored matrices was very much useful. So now you see very young children or very elderly people or very slow learning or having learning severe difficulties. These children were helped by using the colored progressive matrices. In the other test, SPM, we're having 6 sets, but in colored progressive matrices, we're having A and B, that is 12 items. Then another is A1, B1, or A small b and A small a, like that. Another 12 like this, 36 items. So here we're having 36 items, and the items are also increasingly difficult. And the test takes 30 minutes only to answer all subtests. The items are presented on a color background to make the test visually more stimulating, more attractive to the participants. And here the academic counselor gives the instructions how to do that. And also after the instruction, the students or the persons who are doing this, they take the pencil, test booklet. They were clearly asked not to sign or write anything on the booklet itself. And the academic counselor, as the academic counselor who is going to test it, can also strictly give them advance information. They are not to write anything on the booklet and also to write in a separate form their name, date, age, date of birth at the top of the answer script and the answer sheet. The answer sheet should contain all the answers also only about their the missing set numbers and will be only recorded in the answer sheet. And here from that we can get the scores, and from that we can make a scoring by taking the percentile, and from the percentile we can know who is having more intelligence or not. So anyway, through this we can do the test like SPM, standard progressive matrices, or also color progressive matrices, or also advanced progressive matrices. And advanced progressive matrices usually contains or which usually contains the diagrams or items having high level of abstract reasoning. So today the time is probably over. What is the time now? Is it 7? Okay. It is 7, already 7.
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow, not tomorrow, probably on 3rd or 4th we're having. Isn't it?
3rd March.
3rd March. So on 3rd March again we'll make a review of today's talks. I can again go through this intellectual testing or testing on intelligence. You can ask me questions also. We can go deep into the matter again. before starting the next one. So if you have any doubt also, you can ask me for 1-2 minutes. I'm still here.
Sir,
Uh,
where will we
um,
get this questionnaire, the standard progressive questionnaire?
in standard protein matrices?
Yes, sir.
No. You only give instructions that you see the picture and you choose. There are so many options are there. So choose the right option to be fitted into the missing position.
Okay,
So
sir.
here, the number of the number of the choiced one will be only written in the answer sheets.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Suppose there are 6 sets. So out of 6, suppose this 5th one is suitable. So you'll write 5. Right?
Right, sir.
There are 60 problems. Then you get the frequencies. Then you will get the personal rank. You know how to get the PR. That in statistics, very easy. Percentiles. You know
Yes,
it or
sir.
not? If you don't
Yes,
know,
sir.
you ask me, I can tell you in the next class also. So thereby you get the personal rank
Yes.
so that you can compare who is more intelligent and who is not more intelligent. Right?
Yes, sir. So please guide us on Monday how to write the report along with the test so that we know how to do it.
Oh, how to write the report? Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you want to me say that I should tell you how to write the report. Exactly.
So just the format, sir, like on
Oh,
on
okay,
one
okay,
Monday.
okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, I'll
Just
tell
the
you.
format.
Okay, I'll try to tell you. Yes,
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 sir.
very good. Yes, anything you need?
No, sir. Thank you so
Then,
much.
okay, so basically I must, do you know my name?
Yes, sir. Sir, that's
What
it,
would-
sir.
Okay, right. I don't know, probably most of you may not have seen me also.
So we had seen you in the practical exam in the first year. You had taken our practicals.
Oh, oh,
Yes, sir.
acha. Oh, very good.
Yes, sir.
Acha,
So
then,
in practicals, you would provide the case histories or we have to got it by ourselves?
huh?
Sir, in practicals, we have to write case histories, right?
Yes,
So sir, the case history you would provide us?
case history you will collect.
Collect from?
You take any subject, any client, either in your family or outside or any place, any friend. You know the
Okay, sir.
format. I told you the format, how to collect it,
Yes, sir.
and you collect that.
Okay,
And we
sir.
should only in the practical we should know how we are collecting.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
So how you are writing, how you are collecting that. What is your interpretation? At the end, you are interpreting. What is the problem? What problem he's having
Yes, sir.
by observing all these things. As I told you earlier, you have noted down the things, and you just from that you get the view about the problem of the person suffering from. Then you can highlight the problem, and you can make a suggestion also. You can say what is happening to him. Therefore, by looking into that, we can assess how well you have gone through.
Okay, sir.
Right? Yes. Any question? Acha, are you all belonging to Bhubaneswar?
Yes, sir.
We are from Bhubaneswar.
Very good. Anybody from outside?
जी सर
Sita from which place?
बरहमपुर सर गंजम
Oh, Ganjam. Nilu from
सर बड़बिल
Barbil.
जी सर
Oh, Abhisha from
गंजम सर बरहमपुर
Acha. Alifa Jyoti
Sir, from Mayurbhanj.
Mayurbhanj. Oh God. Then Devasmita Bhubaneswar.
Yes, sir. I'm from Bhubaneswar. My native is from Dhenkanal.
Oh, Dhenkanal. Good. Then anybody else? I think all the guards are present. The boys have left. Anyway,
Sir,
yes,
sir,
yes,
one thing I wanted to ask, like, sir, we have taken counseling psychology. So,
yes.
like, is there anything like, I mean, there is some kind of a preference, like, when it comes to career options, that no, clinical psychology is more important, or like they have more better career options. Is that
No,
something like?
listen. You have done the right thing because you have taken counseling psychology. So nowadays there are more scopes in counseling psychology.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So of course, by taking clinical psychology, you are getting some scope in getting appointment in the medicals nowadays. That is something not that frequent as the scope for counselors. So in each school, they are going to appoint counselors in schools and colleges. So with this counseling degree or counseling experience, definitely you will get better opportunity. And nowadays, you know, everybody needs counseling. It's in an age of turmoil, age of stress. So people are always trying to get help from others, from counselors, because they're getting themselves depressed, frustrated, and they are self-concentrated also. I mean, they're uh, feeling inferior, feeling themselves. Their own assessment is decreasing, so they want to be uplifted for careers or for career making. Even if nowadays you say about the marriages are nowadays more breaking. You must be getting information that the marriage problem is a common problem nowadays. So you are having, as a counselor, you can have marriage counseling, you can have love counseling, you can have career counseling, you can have family counseling, you can have many types of scopes are there. Apart from clinical counseling also, you can also counsel to patients. So you are having better opportunity for your future, provided you make yourself a good counselor. You get trained, and gradually through counseling you develop self-confidence, and you can prove better, right?
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
So you have done a good choice. Had I been in your place, I would have done that also. ହେଲା
Aଜ୍ଞା,
ଆଉ କ'ଣ
sir.
ସବୁ କହିବ? ଆରେ ଝିଅମାନେ କ'ଣ କହିବ ନା ବନ୍ଦ କରିଦେବା?
ନାଇଁ sir, ଠିକ।
କାହିଁ ତ କାହିଁ ଆଉ କାହିଁ କହିଥିଲି ସେ ଆମର ଇଏ କୋର୍ଡିନେଟିଂ ପର୍ସନ ସେ ତ କହିଥାନ୍ତେ ଆମକୁ ଟାଇମ୍ ହେଲାଣି ବୋଲି, ଟାଇମ୍ ହେଇନି କି?
ନାଇଁ sir, ସେମାନେ ତ କିଛି କୁହନ୍ତିନି, ଆମେ ସରିଲା ପରେ କ୍ଲାସ ୱାଇଣ୍ଡ ଅପ୍ କରିଦଉ।
ଏମିତି ହୁଏ? ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା,
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ହଉ। ଆରେ ପିଲେ ମୁଁ ତ ବାହାରେ ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ଦିଲ୍ଲୀରେ ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ଫେରିଲା ବେଳକୁ 3-4 ହେଇପାରେ। ଆଉ 3ରେ ଯଦି ହବ ଏଇଠି କହିବି, ନହେଲେ ନାହିଁ ମୁଁ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ କହିବି ଆଉ, ହେଲା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir, ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତମେ
sir।
ତମର ପଢିକି ଆଗୁଆ ସବୁ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଭିତରେ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ପଚାରିବ ମତେ,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଘରେ ପଢିକି ଆଗୁଆ ତ ଟିଭିରେ କ'ଣ ପଚାରିବ, ତମେ ବେଟର ଯଦି ପଢୁଛ ଭଲ କି ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କେତେବେଳେ ଭଲ କହିଦେବି, ଆଉ କେତେ ବି ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଦେଇଦେବି କେମିତି କ'ଣ କାଉନସିଲିଂ ହୁଏ ବୋଲି, ହେଲା।
ୟେସ୍ ସାର୍।
ହଉ ହଉ ଝିଅମାନେ ଥା, ରହିବି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଓକେ
sir।
ଓକେ, ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ଭେରି ମଚ୍। ହଉ, ସବୁ ବୁଝିଲ ସବୁ ନା ନାହିଁ?
ହଁ ସାର୍।
ଶୁଣ, ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ତଡବଡରେ କହେ, କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ହେଇନି ତ?
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ସାର୍।
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଠିକ ଅଛି। ହଉ, ଭେରି ଗୁଡ୍, ରଖିଲି।
ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସାର୍।
ହଉ, ଏଟା କେମିତି ବନ୍ଦ ହବ ଜାଣିଛୁ?
Thank you, sir.
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା, ସେଲେକ୍ଟ ବନ୍ଦ ହବ।